Okay, all right, everyone. Now, before going to the main.py code, guys, there is just some changes that you need to make to the video indexer service code, wherein you just need to add some extra options. Okay, and why are these extra options required? The reason being YTDLP, it keeps on changing its documentation. Okay, so there are some additional context or some additional things, that we need to update. Okay, now thing is, as I said, YouTube regularly updates its streaming protocols, right? Uh, and without a JavaScript runtime, the YTDLP cannot execute YouTube player's code, so on and so forth. Okay, so the only thing that I would suggest is make sure that you have Node.js also installed on your system. Okay, and there are just few changes that we are making. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just give you kind of a refresher as to what we have done, right? So we in YDL options in this particular where we download the video, we are just making some changes. Okay, actually by the time you receive the code or in the code that you will find in the project, you will find this updated, but in the video you might not see this. Okay, so the format that we have put is best. Okay, so the format specifies which video quality format to download, right? So in a way we are saying that the best, which is the high quality video you need to download. Okay, audio plus video combined. Okay, then we have outtmpl. Outtmpl is basically, it's like output template. Okay, so this stands for output template. All right, and this defines how to save the file. Okay, I mean the output path that should be string like, right? So this is nothing but the output template. How do I want the output to be or the file to be? Okay, so I want it at a particular path, then I want it in a particular file extension, all of that. Okay, then we put quite as false. Quite basically controls the console output verbosity. Okay, false will show the download progress, it will show the status message and the errors. True, if you put quite as true, it basically suppresses most of the outputs. So if you put this as true, it will not show you the progress, okay, as to how things are happening. It will just directly show that if there are any errors. Okay, and then no more warnings as false. This basically controls the warning message display. All right, and then if you see here, we have put some extractor arguments, HTTP headers and stuff. Yeah. Now in here, if you see extractor args, this is basically the advanced settings passed to the specific site extractors. Okay, and this will basically configure how the YTDLP interacts with YouTube's API player. All right, if you see, it says YouTube player client Android web. Okay, so the player client means which YouTube client to emulate while requesting the video. Okay, so we are seeing try Android first. Okay, try the Android app first and fall back to the web browser. All right, so if this does not work, then you fall back to web browser. Okay, and when it comes to Android client, it often bypasses restrictions that affects the web client. And please note, order matters. Okay, which means you're saying try Android first and then go to web. If you put web and then Android, then it will try web first and then go to Android. Okay, and then the HTTP headers, right? These are the custom HTTP headers that will be sending with every request. Yeah. Here we are also passing user agent, which identifies the browser it kind of, so user agent basically identifies what browser or what device is making the request, right? As simple as that. Okay, so yeah, these are just 3-4 things that we needed to, or 2-3 things, whatever we needed to add. All right, now let's move to main.py. Now if you look into main.py, now one thing that you might see is that I have added a bit of if you see here, I've added a bit of documentation. Okay, the reason being, I wanted to I think in the last video we had skimmed through it at a bit pace. But now here we'll try to get an idea. Okay, main.py firstly is an orchestration file. Okay, this is where we are going to run our entire pipeline. Okay. First and foremost, we start with, okay, what is this? Firstly, this is the control center, right? It sets up the audit request. It runs the entire AI workflow, runs the entire LangGraph workflow, and it will finally display the final compliance result. Okay. We start with importing UUID, where it is going to generate unique IDs. Okay. Importing JSON to handle JSON data or handle JSON formatting. Logging is to log, and pretty print is, we know this. Okay. .env is to read the env variables, which means the API keys, connection strings, all of that. All right. We perform the basic logging setup. Okay. If you look at the format is timestamp, logger name, severity, and the message. This is the standard format that is followed everywhere. Okay. Then what do we do is we create a function called as run CLI simulation. Okay. So what this does is it simulates a video compliance audit request. Now, once I give the YouTube URL link or video URL link, whatever, I want it to be wanted to see if if it passes compliance audit or not, right? And this function will orchestrate the entire audit process. Firstly, it creates a unique session ID. Then it prepares the video URL and the associated metadata. Then it runs through the entire AI workflow, which means it goes through everything, whatever we have designed till now: video indexer, document indexer, graphs, nodes, states, everything. Okay, and it displays the compliance results. Okay. We have the session ID here, and UUID4 basically generates random unique ID. Okay, user unique ID, you might say. Okay, so you can see unique identifier. And this logs. So there's starting audit session. It will give a session ID and it will log. Firstly, what do we do is we define the initial state. So this dictionary contains all the input data for the workflow. You can think of this as intake form for the compliance audit. We start with the initial inputs. So first and foremost, if you see, I've passed a YouTube URL video already here. Okay. So if I just click on this link, if I just click on follow link, okay, this is the YouTube video. Okay. If you look closely.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nira, here to interview John Cena, the new face of Neutrogena.
So we are going to now check if this YouTube ad, which is the new face of Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Sunscreen, which also stars John Cena. I was once a fan of John Cena. We are going to check if this abides by the compliance result, compliance documents. If you know the two PDFs, which is the FTC disclosure and the YouTube ad specifications, it is going to now go through this 30-second commercial, and now it is going to check if it passes the compliance audit, yes or no. That is what it is going to do. And this is what, see, earlier you had actually people to do this, but now you can just delegate this to agentic workflows and it will do the job. Okay. So
Ultra Sheer Sunscreen. What's up? Let's do this.
We're going to pass this advertisement, by the way. Okay. All you need to do is just right click on copy video URL and just paste the URL here. That's all you need to do. Okay. Then the video ID. Okay, now video ID, how are we going to generate? So it's a shortened video ID. Okay, so it is going to take the first 8 characters of the session ID. Okay, and session ID will be generated here, something like this, and followed by VID. How do I put this through? VID underscore. So that is the video ID that will be generated. Then we'll be creating an empty list called as compliance results. So if there are any compliance violations found, that will be populated here in the compliance result. And who will populate it? Auditor node, because auditor node is going to do all that job. And if there are any errors, let's say something like downloading failed, transcript unavailable, any error, that will be stored in this empty list, which is errors. Now it will start initializing the workflow. Once it gets the input, it will start initializing the workflow. We have JSON. So we take the initial inputs and we pass it inside JSON.dumps, which basically converts the Python dictionary to a formatted JSON string. So so your initial inputs here, which is a dictionary, now will be converted into a JSON. Okay. And that will be the input payload. Okay. Once it is converted into JSON, then it is passed to the graph. Then the graph execution starts. Okay. If you see, this JSON is now invoked on the app. And what is the app? App is nothing but your entire LangGraph workflow, right? So whatever you created in the entire workflow, if you can recall, we had a file called workflow.py, right? There we're going to invoke the entire LangGraph on this, on the initial inputs, and we're going to return something called as final state, and final state will contain all the results. Then we'll get that the workflow execution is complete, and once the workflow execution is complete, now the compliance audio audit report will be generated. In compliance audio report, it will show the video ID. Okay, it is going to extract the video ID from the final state. Hence, final state dot get video ID, which means whichever is the final state, from that final state, you extract the video ID. After video ID, we also need the status. If there are any violations detected, I mean, yeah, it will firstly see if there are any violations detected. If there are any violations detected, we will see that in compliance results. If you know compliance results, we have created an empty list here called as compliance results, which will contain all the violations, right? If there are no violations detected, it will just pass an empty string. And then what we're going to do is we are going to loop through each and every violation. Okay. And each issue is a dictionary. Now, every violation is actually a dictionary, and it has three things. It has severity, it has category, and it has claims. For example, the severity is critical. There are some misleading claims that there is absolute guarantee detected. So there are some severity, category, and description. Actually, when we actually print the output, you will get this in much more depth. But when a compliance report gets generated, there are typically three parameters we are interested in, which is severity, category, and description. Okay. If there are no violations, then obviously no violations will be found, and final summary gets printed. Okay. And then what do we do? From the final state, we extract the final report. Okay. All right. If this does not work, then obviously the exception, we're going to say that workflow execution failed. All right. And this is the program entry point. So this block only runs when you execute python.mainpy. Okay. If you won't run it, if it won't run if you import this file as a module. I mean, this is something that you should already know. Yeah. If you're coming from Python background. Okay. All right, and now we'll execute the function. All right, so let us execute the function. We'll say uv run. Now, why am I using uv run? Because we are using uv, right? So uv run python main.py, and let's hit, and we'll now trigger the entire pipeline. Whatever we have built till now, we are getting everything together and we're executing it. Let's hit enter. All right, let's see what it does. Okay, you can see it has started initializing the workflow. It has taken the input. You can see it has taken the input URL, video ID, compliance. Right now it is empty only, right? Okay, so you can see the video processing has started. All right, you can see the YouTube video has been done. Can you see here the temp audit video? You can see here the video has been down. It was downloaded, and then again it was uploaded. So temporarily the video was downloaded. You can see extracting the URL, downloading the web page, downloading Android Player API, and all right, good. So it is taking the, it is now, you can see it is taking the token credentials. If you can recall, we had defined those token credentials, right? So you can see now after taking the credentials, it is now uploading the video to Azure. Okay, and you can see upload success, which means it finally, or it successfully uploaded the video on Azure AI indexer, and this is the ID. Okay, now it is waiting for the video, whatever it is, whatever the name is, to process. Okay, whatever video ID, this is the video ID to process. You can see now the video ID is getting processed. You can see it has gotten the token has been succeeded, which is great. So you can see waiting for 30 seconds. So if you can recall, we had coded this, right? Now this is waiting for 30 seconds for the processing to happen. Okay, all right, let's wait, let's see what it does. Okay, all right, you can see it has started. Again, it says waiting for 30 seconds, which is fine. So it keeps on hitting unless and until the entire processing is not happening, or if the entire processing, unless and until is not done, it will keep on happening and it will keep on running the loop every 30 seconds. Okay. All right. I just kind of, okay, this is good. Okay. Acquired the token. Okay. If you see, extraction is complete. The video extraction is now complete. Now it is querying the LLM. You can see here we had got, it is now querying the knowledge base and the LLM. Knowledge base is what? Your Azure AI search, right? Where your PDFs are there, right? So now you can see here it has already started hitting. Yes. So, oh, this is fantastic, guys. Congratulations. Yeah, your pipeline has worked successfully. You can see here workflow execution complete. Okay. And this is the compliance audit report. Okay. This was the video ID. And the status is what? You can see the status is failed, which means the video, the Neutrogena ad is not complying as per the regulations which are defined inside the PDFs. Okay, so if you see what are the violations detected, if you see, this is the severity, this is the severity, this is the category, and this is the description. Okay, please note. See, when we define the code, right, if you go here, we had defined severity, we had defined category, we had defined description. Okay, so this is the severity, this is the category, and this is the description. So you can see that severity is critical. Claim validation, the claim, if you see, they are what claim are they saying? Sunscreen you can't see implies invisibility, which could be interpreted as scientific claim requiring proof, and there is no evidence provided in the video to substantiate this claim. So you can see there is one claim violation that it found, and then there's one more critical endorsement disclosure. So the video does not include a clear disclosure that John Cena is a paid endorser or a partner for Neutrogena Ultra Sheer sunscreen. Terms like ad, sponsored, or Neutrogena partner are missing. This is really cool, right? And the final summary is what? The video violates the compliance rules by making an unsubstantiated scientific claim and failing to disclose the endorsement relationship clearly. This is very, very cool, right? So you can see this is how a compliance report gets generated. If you actually scroll above, you can actually get an idea how things are happening. Okay, it will now there are a lot of things which might find or which might look gibberish. Okay, because there are a lot of to's and fro's are happening. Okay, response header, post requests, get requests, all of that. Okay, where it is trying to hit the API URL, trying to get the credentials. You can see request URL, whatever this is. Yeah, and you can try and check it here if you want. Yeah, actually this won't work, to be frank, but that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, so you can see no body was attached, which is fine. You can see it's chunked, right? And this is fine, right? So guys, this is really good. Yeah, so you can see the content length. Yeah, so the content length is how much? 34811, which is on the higher side, which is fine. That is not an issue. Okay, so that was really good. That was fantastic. Okay. And yeah, so you guys, you have congratulations, you have successfully built a very high quality pipeline. Okay, a very high quality pipeline that actually kind of shows you a lot of your I would say it shows that you have a very good understanding of how to build production level pipelines, because we had done so many things, right? Firstly, we did ingestion. Okay, we had the YouTube URL, we downloaded the video, we uploaded that to Azure Azure yeah, blob storage, and then we did the indexing. At the indexing we had speech to text and OCR, then we did the retrieval, then the reasoning happened. So you can see your pipeline is now fully operational. Okay, this is really good. Okay, so now we know, right, there are so many things that happened. Okay, so we had the brand ads, okay, which are nothing but the videos. And what are the videos? They are nothing but images plus speech plus text, right? We took the YouTube URL basis that we downloaded the video, and this video then was uploaded to Azure blob storage. Okay, Your Azure video indexer, what it will do is it will extract the OCR as well as the transcript, but it needs to access the video which is uploaded on Azure Blob Storage. Then using Azure AI Search, which acts as your knowledge base and a vector DB service, you have your PDF data which is entirely chunked and vectorized on Azure AI Search. And then finally, you also have Azure Application Insights, which we'll see in a while. Okay, so many things you have done, guys, right? This is very cool, and this can be a very strong project on your portfolio or on your CV. Okay, I can vouch for this. Yeah. All right. Okay. So yes, guys. So our pipeline is working really well. Actually, this is really good. Okay. You can also go on Langsmith and check. Okay, we can also try going on Langsmith. If not, we can also go later. That's fine. But let's go and check on Langsmith as well, how things are working. Okay, you can see on Langsmith, if I go on tracing, yeah, this is the project, right? This is the project that we were working on, Brand Guardian Prod. We had named this as Brand Guardian. I had named this as Brand Guardian Prod. Okay. And yeah, if I just go here, if I click here, yeah, you can see this is what the request we did 8 minutes ago. Okay, if you see how much latency did it take, it took 146 seconds, guys. It took 146 seconds for the entire how do I put this through, for the entire to and fro. By the time you upload the URL, download video and hits the cloud. Now obviously, you can work on the latency part, you can bring down the latency. That is a altogether a different ball game. Optimization, all of that is a completely different ball game that requires different level of engineering efficiency. But if I just click here, you can see this is called as project tracing using Langsmith, and Langsmith is also a very good thing to have on your CV. Okay, so you can see this was the input that we gave, right? Video URL, right? And at start we did not have any compliance results on errors, and this was the final report that was generated. You can see here what is the also you can see the tokens generated, right? 935 tokens. Yeah, so at the input level there were 762 tokens, at the output level 159. Yeah, now if you see here, this was the transcript. Okay, transcript is nothing but the entire text that is used in the advertisement. Hi, I am Dr. Neera, here to interview John Cena, the new face of Neutrogena Sheer Sunscreen. What's up? Let's do this, so on and so forth. Okay, this is the transcript. Basis that, you can see the compliance results. Okay, the compliance results, you can see there are two things. Okay, one is there's compliance result 0. Yeah, you can see there is a claim validation. Okay, the claim sunscreen you can't see, so on. You can just copy and paste it somewhere. It's fine. So there are two critical compliance violations that are happening, one on the endorsement disclosure and the other on the claim validation. Okay, and this is the OCR text, which means whatever text appears in the ad or in the screen, on the screen when the ad is happening. So this is all the OCR text, and this is the video metadata. If you can recall, we had coded the video metadata, right? So we wanted two things in video data metadata. We wanted the platform and we wanted the duration, right? So this is what we are getting in here. I think we had coded this in video indexer. Yeah. So in in video indexer, if you can recall, what did we want? We wanted the transcript, we wanted the OCR text, and in metadata, we wanted the duration and the platform. If you go here, you can see the transcript, OCR text, and the video metadata, right? How cool is that? You can see how LangGraph hits the indexer. And what is the indexer? Indexer is nothing but your Azure AI indexer. And this is the information that is available on the indexer. Okay. Then it goes to the auditor. Oh, sorry, this is not the, I'm so sorry. This is not Azure AI index. This is the indexer node. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the indexer node. And then it goes to the auditor node, and this is the information in auditor node. So basis the information that it fetches from the indexer node. If you see, this is the information generated by indexer node. This is the state. This state is then passed to the auditor, and that is the reason you see that state being reflected here as well, of the indexer state. And basis the indexer state, it generates an output. Okay, and then it also uses Azure Chat OpenAI to generate the final output. Yeah, you can see here how the system, this is the system prompt, if you can recall, we had defined, right? And yeah, so you can see this is the human level information that is getting passed. If you can recall, we had defined something called as user message, right? And in user message at a human level, we wanted three things. We wanted video metadata, we wanted transcript, and we wanted the OCR, on-screen text, which is OCR, right? I don't know if you can recall this one. Yeah. And basis that, you can see the AI has generated the output. If you can recall, we had also told this to generate or dump the output or the compliance results in JSON format. You can see here it is dumped that in JSON format as well, guys. Yes. So this is fantastic. Heartiest congratulations. You have done it. Okay. Let me go to video indexer and let me just give me a minute. Not in video indexer. Where had we done it? We had done this in notes, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. In notes. Yeah. Yes. This is what I wanted to show you. If you can if you can see here in nodes, we had at a user message as a human level message, right? So if you see, we had passed the human message, user message as a, or we are going to convert that as a human message, which means human level, it takes user message as the content. This was the user message, right? So video metadata, transcript, and OCR text. If you go here, you can see this video metadata at human message level, video metadata, transcript, and OCR. Yes. So we have, you can see video metadata. So it's a 30.1 second commercial. The platform is YouTube. This is the transcript, and whatever information that is appearing on text, this is it. And basis that, it kind of did a compliance check with the PDFs, and basis that, it generated the output, and the output was that it failed. Okay. It failed to give the right, or rather, no, I'm so sorry, it failed to pass the compliance audit. Yes, this is really, really cool. All right. Okay, guys. So congratulations, your pipeline is done. Now let's go to the next part where we'll be building the fast API backend server, and also we'll be looking at the telemetry part. Okay. If you have done this, I think telemetry part doesn't really, if you know this, I mean, telemetry will do the same job, but that's fine. Okay. All right, guys. So let's move to the fast API part. Thanks.